stop gossiping. It's really ugly. Hello, welcome. Is it ever okay to gossip? What do I mean by gossip? It's saying bad stuff about someone, whether it's true or not. We can sometimes think, oh, but I'm only telling the good stuff. I mean, the true stuff. I'm not making this up. This is just truth. The truth is out there. It's public knowledge. Therefore, I can say it to whoever I like. I know myself sometimes, and I have definitely fallen into this fault, this sin. It can be almost like pleasurable. You feel really justified because that person's wrong, and maybe if it was you that they hurt, there can be like a revenge in it, or a sense of like justice. But actually, gossip it's an injustice. So yeah, there's calumny and detraction. Calumny is the one where you make stuff up. That's particularly bad. But detraction is where you tell the true stuff, but it still does damage. Now, why does it do damage? This whole thing, like asking, is it ever okay to gossip, is actually kind of similar to a heroin addict saying, when's it okay to have heroin? Like on the weekend, just on Sundays, to celebrate our Lord's resurrection. No, I'm sorry. But for prayer purposes, no, that would always be wrong. There is actually sometimes gossip's okay. When it's not, when is gossip not gossip? But we'll come to that. But first, everybody has a reputation, and in a sense, a good reputation. To damage someone's reputation is always unjust. It would be like stealing stuff from them. And a lot of times people value their reputation more than they value their money. And when anybody damages it, we feel it. It's one of the most horrible, painful experiences to hear that somebody else has been gossiping about you. And the basic reason why is, the golden rule: do to others what you would have them do to you, as our Lord said. If you don't like being gossiped about, then you shouldn't gossip. And even if you weirdly do like to be gossiped about for some strange, potentially very unhealthy reasons, it's still wrong. One of the saints apparently gave as a penance for a woman who confessed gossip that they would go with a feather pillow to the top of the hill and open up the feather pillow and let the feathers go on a nice windy day. I mean, that's all right. It's weird, right? That's a weird penance. I've never given that penance. But the saint then said, and then you have to go and pick every single one of those feathers up. It was probably just a teaching, because it means to say you can never fully undo the damage of gossip, but you do have to try. That is actually essential. Just as if I stole money from you, I have to repay that money. So too, if I have stolen your reputation from you, I have to do what I can, even if it's not fully possible. I must restore that to you. Gossiping. How do we stop? Like I said, it can be addictive. So you got to recognize that. You might be catching yourself afterwards. So you've done it, and then you realize afterwards, oh my gosh, I did that thing again. It might be complete news to you that this is actually wrong to do this. So first step is learning. Next is becoming aware of when I do step into that zone. And my awareness might be really slow, as I said, but bit by bit, it will get closer and closer to the moment of the actual act. And then your awareness will start to precede the act. So you will realize, oh my gosh, I'm in that place where I want to gossip about this person. It's like, I just heard this stuff. Whoa, I want to tell people. So awareness, just openly acknowledging it, bring it to confession, talking to your priest about it, maybe talk to somebody else. If you have an accountability, or like a friend who you could talk to about this regularly. That's really advised whenever you're trying to get rid of any kind of addiction or habit in your life. It's really, really important to have other people that you can regularly talk about this, and you ask them, can you please keep me accountable about this? They're helping you, and they're praying for you, and they're maybe giving you some advice from their own experience of life. So beyond that, it's really, really important, and actually the first thing, to pray about this, to pray for God's help, to pray that He make you more aware, pray that He make you not like it, and that He reveal what's the roots of it and help you to stop. That issue of what are the roots of it is really important. Sometimes in confession, we just chop the head off the weed of sin. But if we don't actually do the work to get to the root, then that weed is just going to sprout again and again and again in our life. We really need to do the work to dig into our heart, say, why am I doing this? What is it that I'm getting or wanting to get when I gossip? What's that sense of, like, is there an anger towards me, towards people, and I like getting the revenge? Is it this person who I'm gossiping about that I want to hurt, or is there actually somebody else in my life who hurt me really badly and I want to get them back? Is there any of that going on in your life? So guys, what do you do if you are not the gossiper or the gossipee? What's the gossipee? Is that the person who's gossiped about, let's say, but the co-gossiper? Wow, that's a new word. If you are the one who's listening and going, no, oh, Without a co-gossiper, every gossiper dries up. It's like fire. Okay, if fuel is the content of the gossip, the actual news about somebody or the stuff about them, the co-gossiper would be like the air, the oxygen. Without oxygen, that fire is just going to die and die really, really quickly. You don't want to be a co-gossiper because it enables gossip to happen. And then you're going to be really tempted to shed the hate and gossip yourself and share that information. So what do you do when you're in this situation and someone is talking about somebody and they're trashing their reputation and you want to say something, but you don't want to shame this person who's gossiping? You don't want to say, oh, dude, like seriously, stop gossiping. It's really ugly. Well, I think I was venting right there. Okay, so you're in that situation. Person's gossiping. Awkward. You need to communicate a boundary because they're doing something that you don't want them to be doing and they're involving you and it's actually wrong for both of you. So if you sit there and listen to the whole thing, you need to get confession because there's an involvement, a culpable involvement in there, right? So what do? So here's a couple of ideas. Having some phrases to say that aren't going to totally shame this person, but are going to communicate, listen, can we just stop? So having some little phrases handy and then having the next conversation topic. And that's the key. It's really just change the subject. But what can be helpful to also change the subject is to say, I probably don't need to know all that stuff. But the other day you were talking about, insert your next topic. So it's good to know ahead of time. Before I stop them, I'm going to think, what's the next topic I'm going to shove in there right now? I'm going to talk about that movie that we both didn't see. What do you think about going to see? So I will interrupt them, say, I probably don't need to know all those details, but I'll keep them in prayer. What were you saying the other day about, boom? It's like distract with this hand and then get them with the other hand. Another way that was done to me one time, and I'd slipped into gossip with somebody, they said, could you give me a moment? Pardon me. And they just left the room. There's lots of other people around. It was kind of like a party setting. But as soon as they left, I realized, oh my gosh, I was gossiping. And then after a while, this person came back and we started talking about something else. But it was really, really cool because totally didn't shame me, didn't say anything, but I was so convicted right there. It also would have given them, if I had then started into the other topic, it gave this pause so they could then come back in and reset the conversation topic. Genius. But I never told you. When is it okay to gossip? Are you ready? Get your pens out for this one. It is when the good of others, the good of the community is at stake, seriously at stake. So for example, you get your kidneys out. Well, one of them out, okay? And Dr. So-and-so took out the wrong kidney. I kid you not, this does happen. I kid you not. Wow, that is terrible. Takes your wrong kidney out. And now you have to take out the bad kidney. See, now you've got no kidneys. Thanks, doctor. Fantastic job. And it turns out he's done this a lot. Okay, that might be negligence and incompetence. Okay, so for you to tell Aunt Maisie, who shares with you that she's going to get her kidney out with Dr. So-and-so, it's totally fine for you to say, I'd change doctor. And then you could say why. So long as your intention is not to harm that other person, you're not saying this out of revenge, you're simply saying this for Aunt Maisie's good, then that's okay because she's seriously at risk of harm from this person. And this also applies for people who have committed serious crimes. Sometimes the reputations are made public. Again, if that's done just to do damage to them, that is very, very wrong. But if it is truly to protect the wider community, and it actually will do that, then that is okay, although an evil will be suffered because of it by the person who committed the crime. There you go. Now, one other one. What if you've been really, really badly wronged? You've been really hurt in your life by somebody or many people, and you need to do something with it, and it's killing you inside. You need to vent. You need to get it out. You need to get therapy. You need to whatever. Okay. Is it okay to talk about these things? For gossip to be gossip, it means that the person's identity and their crime, their whatever, the bad behavior are connected. So if, let's say you're talking to your counselor, but they don't know your parents, they don't know your people in your life, and you share about something that happened to you, but you don't identify anybody. No problem. No damage has been done to anyone's reputation. The problem is when the counsellor knows your mother well, and then you start unloading all of the family secrets. That's going to be more of a problem. So it's always good to get somebody, even if you are talking to a friend and you're venting, it can be legitimate so long as there is no identification of persons. I wouldn't even say the relationship. There's somebody who dot, dot, dot. And so long as your intention also, it's not to do damage, it's not to get to revenge, it's actually so that you can work through what's going on inside of you, your anger, your hatred, your whatever else, and you can get to a point of actually loving again. Well, so long as that's your intention, you're good to go. The other way that I love to do is if I've got stuff, I'll write it as if I'm talking to the person, and then I'll rip it up. So I get all the benefit of the venting without any damage being done to anyone's reputation. There you go. Those are the times, those are the ways that it is okay. Otherwise, it is not okay. And let's all try and let's just pull our socks up really, really high and try to just become perfect. Sorry. I hope that's helpful. And God bless you. Have a good day. Bye-bye. And there's the phone, because I'm doing this in the middle of the day. It's probably one of the brothers, probably looking for me. They probably want to gossip about someone.